Hello, guys. Welcome to Friday night. Just doing a little bit of talk here until people kind of come on, because obviously it's going to be up during the week as a video. Tonight, I'm hoping to cover basically what I've been doing. I've been working on a Stug? Yes, the Atelieri Stug. It's an old kit. And I'm also working on a resin set of figures. Okay. Ian, how are you? First team. How are things? Hope you're well. As you can see, the beard is coming on nicely. So I'm going to sort of talk a little bit about this this Stug that I'm doing. Excuse me, I am smoking, but it's the instructions are kind of weird. It's like as if there's I don't know. I'm not loving the instructions. The kit itself, I'm enjoying. It's a nice kit, bar one or two little things. The fitment of the gun, how the gun mantlet actually gets fitted. I'm not really too keen on that. I'll show you in a few minutes what I'm talking about there. The gun just the whole mantlet. It's kind of loose, a very loose fit. If anybody's made this kit, they'll know what I'm talking about. It's kind of a loose, very loose fit. It instead of, say, the mantlet has, the usual two little prongs out of it, and usually they fit into, loops and it go up and down or whatever. But this is kind of they've got a long guide, so it can, move in and out and up and down. And by doing that, it just makes the whole thing very, very kind of unsteady. Yeah, I know it'll give it kind of that little bit of lateral movement as well, but it just seems a little bit too loose. Not very fond of it at all. Yeah, it's kind of, might as well finish off anyway. Bad for the health. Bad for the health. Dildare, how are you? Ian, good evening. Peter Rogers, hello. Robbie, good evening. Mr. P, how are you? Ian says he's on nights at the weekend, so he'll miss most of the live stream. I'll have to watch the recorded version. Oh, well, work comes first. You have to look after the pennies. And it was nice to sort of have you here anyway. And it's great that you actually do watch the videos, because I'm really, really appreciative of people that do actually kind of take the time to watch the videos. John, how are you? And Ian, good evening. Good evening. All right, there's enough few people on, so I can show you where I am at the moment with the Stug. And I'll probably kind of come back to it once or twice again during this little live stream. Okay, so here I am at the moment. That's what it looks like. Now the grey bits, believe it or not, are Mr. Surfacer, because you can probably get it from that. No, not really. It's the thing about when the camera goes live, the quality kind of goes down a little bit in the camera. The mantlet on that, that Sauerkraut mantlet, I think I got the pronunciation kind of slightly wrong. But sort of the pig's nose is would be the sort of the English translation of it. It was a big cast piece, right? One solid piece of cast iron, and it wouldn't be smooth. Would not be smooth. It would be kind of quite. Any of them that I've seen sort of pictures of, I've never seen a real one, but any pictures I have seen of them, you can see the cast texture in it, as opposed to the barrel, which would be a little bit smoother, a bit more refined. But the mantlet itself was reasonably rough. So I used a bit of the Mr. Surfacer. Mr. Surfacer 500 is the one I use. I used it on that and give it a bit of stippling, small bit of stippling, not too much because I didn't want it too rough. And that kind of give it a little bit of texture then on the mantlet, and on the back then with the exhaust, I gave it a really rough. Now again, it's about as good as I can kind of show, really. But I made that pretty rough because that's going to be sort of rusty, that rusty look. And again, it wouldn't be smooth. Hey, whoa, come on, camera. There we go. It wouldn't really be smooth. It would be kind of pretty rough, where all the paint is sort of burnt off and flaked up and all that kind of good stuff. I have all the wheels. The wheels are all there, all nicely cleaned off. I'm going to leave them off until obviously I can get that whole lot painted in there. Top fitted to the bottom quite nicely, no problems with that, and also the side skirts, they fitted on quite nice as well, no problems with any of them fitting wise. I had to use a bit of clamping here while that was kind of setting. All right, it kept coming away from the top and it was leaving a gap, which I didn't like, so I had to do that. But getting on to what I was saying about the movement in this. Now, as you can see, the gun, it's got sort of lateral movement as well as up and downy, but it just makes the whole thing kind of a little bit flimsy, I think. But it does have that lateral movement, which is something that I haven't really seen in other ones, unless the whole thing is mounted on a kind of a thing underneath, shall we say, inside in it, where it pops in, and then you got that whole unit fitted. This is a very weird way of doing it. It's got two little columns. There's a long sort of rectangular slide, and then the two pieces pop into that, and it goes, it kind of slides in and out. It does that, I suppose, so you can get the lateral movement on it, but it just seems a bit loose, loosey goosey. But the rest of it is quite nice. It is an old kit. All these little pieces here, they're all pre-molded on. Not a lover of that, but then again, you will, you get the older kits and the cheaper kits. That's what you get with them. You get most of your pieces molded on. You pay for your parts then when you go off and buy a Dragon's Stug, and you've got plenty of parts then to go onto it, and guaranteed then that you're going to have your individual pieces, but you're paying the money for it. But so far so good anyway. I'm quite happy with that. That's going along okay. So as soon as anybody said anything about that, boom, boom, boom. Mike, hello, how are you? And Dmile from Poland, hello, how are you? Kev, how are you? How's Kev? Del Dare says that the best Italieri kits he ever built were the M47 Patton and the Leopard 1A4 from back in the day. I'm not really a lover of Italieri kits. What really put me off Italieri kits was this one here, right? Now, for a finish, I end up with, it is a nice kit, but the build was a freaking nightmare. That's the Fury. It gives all the decals for the Fury. It gives the the Fury on the barrel. It gives you lots of stowage for the back. Couple of other bits and pieces for it. But the only thing I did find about it was the return rollers along the top here. they're too tight and for fitting the tracks. And a couple of people I know have had problems with it. And it's a pity I didn't know that beforehand, because trying to sort of retro fix it was awkward. And what I did was I basically drilled just down from them and re-drilled the holes to fit them. But even at that, I mean, the kind of the damage was already done at that stage. But it turns out that it's one of my favorite builds, as in finished articles. But the build was a freaking nightmare. I just thought it would be a lot better in that. Plus, it gives stowage for it, and they call it the Sherman Fury, and this is a big thing. It was my big crib at the time. They were calling it the Sherman Fury, but they gave you the stowage that they gave for the back of it. Was not the stowage that sort of was on the film, if you know what I mean. The stowage from the film was quite specific, and they gave you stowage then with the kit, and they didn't give you enough, and they didn't give you the right stuff. And I had to I did a lot of scratch building. Well, when I say scratch building, I kind of used milliput and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of used loads and loads of reference pictures and stills from the film and got it as close as I possibly could. And like I said, for a finish, I ended up with something quite nice. But if you're going building it out of the box, you're not going to get the Fury one. Also, I just finished, as you probably can get. I was trying to get. I'm breaking the area. Pop an area. Okay, I finished the Abrams. Okay, finished the Abrams. Really, really happy with that. That is a beautiful, beautiful kit. Really, really nice. Absolutely, just a very, very enjoyable kit to build. No, I'm not. I don't normally build modern vehicles, but I have a few. I have that. I have Ricci. I have this one here, which is the Warrior. That's a lovely one as well. Nice kit. Can't remember what make that was, but all the sand is falling off. But that's a lovely kit. And I did a Zvezda Mista S, which is their big mobile artillery one. It's up there. I'm not going to get it down, but that's about it for my modern stuff. I've tons more World War II compared to the modern. As you can see, I'm going back onto the World War II again. But I do want to get another modern kit. I want to get my hands on the Leopard 2 A7 Plus. The only thing is, anytime I seem to get a few bob together, it's sold out from the people that I go to buy kits from. It seems to be just sold out. And so anytime they get it's got in, it's sold out straight away. If anybody else has been trying to get it, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's as soon as they get them in, they're gone. Also working on, like I said, I'm working on some figures, some resin figures. Okay. Now, the thing is, with these figures, I got them from AliExpress, and they don't come with, shall we say, instructions. I did show it on what I think was the live stream 2 weeks ago, and it's just basically a bag of parts. Now, this is what it's supposed to end up as. Oh, very bad, very bad, very bad, very bad, very bad. Can you see it from that? Not really. There we go. You can kind of see it from that. It's two figures and a little 20mm anti-tank gun. I have one of the figures as good as completed, just have to stick on his helmet. Okay. Detail on them is absolutely beautiful. It really, really is. I mean, look at that for a face. That pretty face. Okay, some lovely, lovely detail on that. That's one of the figures. Second figure, I haven't got his arm fitted because I'm waiting for he basically his hand is on the trigger for the gun, so I want to make sure that I have it at the right, you know yourself, so it actually kind of fits rather than close enough. But again, nice faces, beautiful detail there on the uniform. You can see the quilting there on the uniform and those. And I made a start on the gun. Okay, I've that much of it done. And I still have a box of parts. Okay, still plenty of parts to go on to that. But slow progress. I'm just kind of fiddling around with that. I'm not doing any independent videos on those, but they're nice. It's just something that when I get bored of whatever I'm doing, I do a little bit of the figures. Let's get back onto the chat. The T-55 Iraqi was one of kids' horrible fitting tracks. Yes, I did that as well. The T-55 had same problems with the tracks. And if you go back through my videos, you will see that I've actually did it as a burnt out one, damaged, and sort of in position in Iraq, whereas it's kind of buried into sort of a dug in position, you know, hull down position, and the sand is up around it, and I have a big hole blown into the side of it. Actually, nice style. Unfortunately, it's back in my other place, but yeah, the tracks were total shite, and a couple of people that have tried to build it have basically said the exact same thing, that from say the tracks up, it's a nice kit, but from the tracks down, shite, absolute shite. So when you've built a couple of Atelier kits and you get a couple of problems like that, it kind of puts you off them. Never had that problem with a Tamiya kit. Okay, problems I've had probably with Tamiya kits were either my fault or you know, what people have said about them, that you know, it's a nice built kit, but it's totally inaccurate, or whatever the case may be. You know, for the real old ones, especially the Panther A from Tamiya. But it's a kit that I love. I've done 3 of them now at this stage. I did a pink one for Abby, and I did 2, and I did 1 recently as well as part of my classic Tamiya kits. That's really, you know, that's about as much as I've got, sort of, as in what I've been up to. So if anybody had questions they'd like to ask me about different bits and pieces, boom, let me say. Did a great job in the Sherman. Thanks very, very much. Robbie B says the Abrams looks dapper. Thank you. Brian, hello, how are you? I'm getting ready to build Rifle's Sherman with interior. Oh, I'd say that's a nice kit. Yeah. I've seen, I can't remember who I saw that built that. I think there's a video on YouTube. I remember seeing something about it anyway. It looks quite nice. Whether it was an unboxing of it now or something, I'm not 100% sure. But it looks a nice kit. I like the interior ones, kits with interiors. The only thing is it can be expensive. And Ryfield, I buy my kits from modelhobbies.co.uk. Bit of a kind of a plug there for Model Hobbies, purely because when you're ordering from them, well, in Ireland, England now, you're going to total different thing. But compare them to eModels. If I order something from eModels, they'll send me a separate invoice about an hour or two later for the postage and packaging. In other words, you can't find out while you're purchasing how much it's going to cost for P&P. So you're buying, to me, you're kind of buying it blind and you're taking a chance on how much they're going to charge you for P&P. I did buy from them at one stage, and it just worked out that their P&P was twice what Model Hobbies were charging. And apparently they're practically side by side. They're in Stoke-on-Trent, so I buy from Model Hobbies. And, you know, for price of kits, they're not really that much far apart, but the choice of kits with eModels is a bit better. But when it comes to, you know, shipping to Ireland, you've got to kind of watch the shipping, especially with another crowd then who I have bought a few bits from in the past is UMP stuff. For shipping for Ireland, very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. And the only other place then you can buy UMP stuff is from eModels again. So unfortunately, I wanted to get some of their washes and things there some time ago, but the crazy P&P, especially to Ireland, whereas Model Hobbies, quite good. So that's why I buy from Model Hobbies. And unfortunately, they don't do Ryfield. So there's my little whinge about Ryfields. Are you going with the Boxer Kama on this, or are you going on your own way? Theater, etc. I presume you're talking about the Stug. I'm kind of going to go my own way. As in, I'm going to go for a two-tone camouflage. The desert yellow, obviously, and I'm going to go for a brown rather than the green stripe. So I'm going to go for a brown stripe with that. So it'll kind of match in with the tiger that I have. I'm just going to use decals that look nice on it. Like I said, they're probably going to be totally incorrect, as in that unit wouldn't have painted their vehicles that color, and like I care, you know. I'm not a river counter, and I don't care. It's my kit, my bottle. And I suppose a lot of, you know, there's a lot of people like that. They don't really care whether it's historically accurate or not, and who cares? Anyway, I'm doing the Brian. Oh yes, Brian. Yes. You're the other chap that's building this. That's right. Yes. You asked me a question about these pieces here. I fitted the back on first, then glue them two into place. And when it comes to that part number 6, there's loads of them. There's loads of them there. I did answer it on the thing, but sort of one of them goes inside the wheel, but you put the wheel on, then you put on that little round ring and then melt over it so that the wheel will spin, and then glue the wheels together so your wheels will spin. Now, I'm not really too bothered about that. It makes painting very, very awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my wheels separately and just glue them in place. Okay, just do it that way. Glue them in place. I'm not going to put it on a diorama, so I'm not really worried about it too much, whether the wheels can move or not. So there we go. Good Abend back again. Oh, guten Abend. Yes, Bit of German there. Guten Abend, meine Herr. That's about it for my German. Je parle petit français, and that's my French. I learned that from a Frenchman. I speak a little French. Oh, do you? How much more do you speak? No, that is my little bit. There. Never thought. Where are we? I'm after losing that now. Whoa. Bum. Never thought of doing my T55. Went in the bin. Only problem I have with Tamiya kits is the price. No. Yeah, the newer Tamiya kits got very, very expensive, didn't they? They really went kind of right up there. That's when I kind of fell in love with Zvezda kits. And I tell you, the Zvezda kits are quite nice. The quality is actually quite good in them. And they're getting up there with their variety of kits. They're really getting better. I'm having hassle with Airfix kit. Yeah, I've heard an awful lot of mixed opinions about the new Airfix kits in 1/35 scale. Someone says that most of them are reboxes of Italieri kits. Now, I don't know whether that is true or not. I haven't gone to ScaleMates to check them out. I suppose, like all of us, we all started off, well, in the UK and Ireland anyway. We all started off with Airfix. They were the well, for me, when I started off making models, they were the only ones that were available, were Airfix, and it was kind of, most kits, you refer to them when you're talking to a person that doesn't really know about different types of kits, and you'd say, I do the models, the little Airfix kits, and you kind of, they've become a word that associates with models, especially over this side of the pond anyway, for definite. But what kind of problems are you having with your Airfix kit? Is it fit wise, or what's the story with those? The T55 Enigma kit is a good one. Is that the Tamiya Enigma? I've heard that is good. All right. He got it on eBay for $59, free shipping. It's dear enough, all right, yeah. Try Scale Model Company. Is that a shop online, Scale Model Company? Or is it a manufacturer? E-models charge a fortune P&P in the UK too. There you go. It's not just me. It's not just to Ireland. They have a great range, an absolutely fabulous range. But I'm literally on a budget, like all of us. Most of us are on a budget. It's not just the case of I'll buy that. I don't care what it costs, and I'll buy all the aftermarket that goes with it, and I don't care about the postage and packaging. Love to be in that situation, but I'm not. And I start off with a budget, and just say my budget is €70. First of all, I got to convert that into pounds, and that then is my budget. So I just say then it works out. I have 65 quid. Now that's to get the kit and get it here. So then, with Model Hobbies, I know that the average postage and packaging is about to Ireland for a kit. It's about between 5 and 6 quid. It's not that expensive, I bought quite a lot from them, and never had any problems. It takes about a week to 10 days, sometimes even longer. I mean, I've waited 2 weeks for stuff to come from them, but it does come. I think I've even bought from them once, believe it or not, right? There's modelhobbies.co.uk. They're based in Newcastle. Not Newcastle. You said Newcastle one time. They're based in Stoke-on-Trent. But they must have a shop in Holland as well, because I bought stuff at one stage and it actually came from Holland. No, there you go. There's one for you. Do you ever do Meng kits? Just got the M2A3 Bradley with Brusque 2. Any tips, please? Liam, I did the Bradley, not the one with the interior, and I can't remember whether it's the I think it was the M3A2 Bradley with Brusque. The cavalry one. Okay. Absolutely gorgeous kit. Absolutely freaking gorgeous kit. Lovely tracks. Just take your time in it. Just take your time in it. I don't have it here because I sold it. It's the only kit that I've actually ever sold. I opened up an Etsy shop at one stage and had a couple of kits up in it, finished products. And I sold it to a chap in Texas for $100. So, yay. Got a few bow out. But I never bothered selling anymore. I took the rest. I took the shop down a little time after that. But yeah, that was the only Meng I've ever done, apart from these little fellas. Okay, the World War II's Meng. I do like Meng. I definitely, like I said, that Bradley and the way their instructions are, the instruction booklet, the way they're packaged, really, really impressed by Meng. But it's unfortunate, again, being on a budget, it's a case of I can get 2 other kits for the price of a Meng. But I never rule anything out. I will definitely get a Meng again in the future. What are we here? What are you building? I'm building this at the moment. It's the Italieri Stug. Okay, it's an old one. I'll show you the box. I have it under here. And I say it's an old one. I mean, it's an old one. Okay, it's a 1990s Reeboks of a 70s kit. And it is only a Reeboks. But the parts are definitely 70s. The instructions are definitely 70s. I mean, there's the instruction sheet. And as you can see, it's an old one. The paper has gone brown and yellowed and everything. But not loving the instructions at all. The one thing, the sprues have no numbers on them. So when it says, part 39 or part 40 or whatever it is, it gives a little indicator beside it, be it a circle, a square, or a triangle. That tells you which sprue it's on. Then you got to go to the sprue map here on the front page. And you got your triangle, circle, or square. You see it there in black. Find the piece. Then go to your sprues and then find the piece, because there are just the square one and the triangle one. Okay, these two here. Now this piece here, I think is probably it's definitely Panzer IV. But I think it might even also be used with the Panzer III, and the same with the triangle one. So there's lots of parts that you're not going to use, and you can't just go then by, say, the picture and say, look at the sprue and say, oh, yep, that's it. There is a chance that it might be the wrong one. So there's a lot of kind of back and forth, and it can get kind of a bit annoying. Boom, boom, boom. Where are we now? All I got to do is just barely touch this thing and it flies up. I'm talking about the chat here on the side. I'm kind of scrolling through the chat. There's quite a lot of it there. Hello from Belgium. Hello, Peter. About picture. Peter here started 135 Retro Kits Cold War build series inspired by you. Oh, thank you very much. At least I inspired something. We thank Trump for high prices. Yeah. Why blame him? What's he got to do with modeling? Never know. You can't see Joe Biden sort of helping you out anyway. Don't you love the way he's already declared that he's the winner when, it's not official yet? And he's kind of sort of even CNN are giving out to people for not accepting that Joe Biden has won. He hasn't won. No, there's a 99.99% chance that he has won. But it hasn't been declared. So, technically he hasn't won. Like, it's, you're not past the goal line until you're past the goal line. And it's been officially declared. And once it's officially declared, then then you can call yourself president-elect or whatever. But he's gone off and set up his office of the president-elect, and to me, I'm in Ireland, so it doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. I don't really care. I don't care who, who wins or loses or anything like that. It's no skin off my nose. But I'll tell you, it's very entertaining to us over this side on the way things are going. And the way that, like I said, that a lot of the mainstream media has declared him president-elect. And I was just thinking to myself, wouldn't it be gas if it turned around and all these lawsuits worked out that Trump ended up staying in power because it was proven that there was major fraud goes on and all this kind of stuff. That'd be talk about egg and chin. Ooh, that wouldn't be nice. But anyway, like I said, I don't care, and it's I'll stay out of it. I try not to get involved in politics, but Zvezda beats Italieri, definitely, but apparently not old Zvezda kits. Now it's very hard to get old Zvezda kits over here. Okay, we don't get the old Zvezda kits. I've never even seen them, but I have heard a lot of people saying that the old Zvezda kits are crap, whereas the new ones are good. I can't say either way. All I can say is that the new ones are good. The new ones are good. I've never had a problem with them. There are Reeboks of academies. Well, if Airfix are Reeboks of academy models, then they should be pretty good because I've never had a problem with academy. That Abrams is an academy kit, and for ages and ages, when I started getting back into the modeling, I actually thought that the similarities between Tamiya kits and academy kits was really, really unbelievable, because I got an academy Stug 4, or was it Stug 3, and I got a couple of months later, then I got the Tamiya one, a different Aufs. But I thought it was practically the same molds. Looking at the instructions to see were they the same. So obviously they're not, because one is Korean, the other's Japanese. But I was just wondering, was there a connection there between Academy and Tamiya? So if Airfix are Reeboks of Academy kits, then I can't see any problems with them, because like I said, Academy kits to me were the same as Tamiya's when it comes to fit and all that. I never had any problems with Academy, none whatsoever. So Uncle No Identity. Great name. Hello, Mr. Hello, Uncle No Identity. Airfix are lacking in design compared to Tamiya, etc. Yeah, but then if they're Reeboks of Academy, and like I just said, I find Academy and Tamiya practically the same. I don't know. Oh, that was the Sherman. Oh, Brian. All right. Sorry, Brian. Yeah. Christina, no. Christina, I won't pronounce your name because I know I'm going to make a total feckin' hands of it. But you're doing the Zvezda's Golden Hind. Is that any good? I remember the old Airfix Golden Hind. I think it was tiny little things, but that size. I think that sort of everybody kind of went into it at one stage. But I'd say depends on the scale. I'd say it's quite a nice kit because it's not a very big ship in reality. So I'd say it'd be nice saying 1/72 scale or bigger. Mel's Modeling Adventures, gotta say, I'm there with you with Zvezda, especially the newer ones. The right treat. Yeah, they are a nice treat. I like them. Ever tried AFV Club? No, I have never tried them. My local modeling shop had one there at one stage. They were looking for ridiculous money for it. It was only a gun. It was the American anti-tank gun, World War II anti-tank gun, and they were looking for something like 50 quid for it or something like that. And I said, fuck that, I'm not paying that. I'll get that in England for half that. And I never actually went back onto them. Saw one or two unboxings and things like that, and builds and things. And a lot of people have said that AFE Club stuff is a bit over-engineered, and the fit can be sort of lacking in places. So, I kind of stick to something that I'm going to have reasonably easy build. Because as you can see, I'm kind of half blind as it is. You can see the thickness of my glasses there on one side compared to the other. That's quite a thick lens, and chunky fingers, old age, and all that kind of thing. I stick to something that's sort of easy build with less tiny parts. And from what I've seen from a couple of the AFE Club unboxings, is they sort of, when I say they over-engineer things, it's a case of you put the hatch cover down and then you've got the hinges are separate pieces. As in sort of 2 pieces to make a hinge or 3 pieces to make just a hinge, things like that. And to me, that's I've better things to be doing with my time. Fair play to you if you can do it, if you can see it. Off you go. But no, I kind of try and steer away from those type things. Super Hobby prices and shipping are in euro, and well priced, and even give you an estimated shipping date. All right, there, Del. Where are they based? And is that the name of the company? Super Hobby, or is that Supper? You've spelled Supper Holiday now there, Del. Supper Holiday, Supper Hobby. Sorry, Supper Holiday. I can't even read. Super. I presume you mean Super Hobby prices. You also have the Riffield, Brian is the Riffield M1A2 with interior on the way. Yeah, I did see a building that looks lovely. It's got sort of torsion bars, suspension, and everything that looks really, really nice. Liam Kelly, thank you. With my sausage fingers, it's full interior tracks. Yeah. A lot of us, like when we get to a certain age, get the old sausagey fingers, and they don't want to do what you want them to do. And especially when you're holding parts and you're sanding. Do you ever get kind of cramps down here when you're holding parts for long periods of time, and the pain and cramp? Don't like that. They started the Tacom Blitz. Yeah, those Tacom Blitz ones, they seem quite nice. I've seen Andy's Hobby Headquarters has done a few. And a few more people have done those. You've even mentioned it there, yeah, the Panther 2. Basically, what basically are they? Are they sort of a Tacom kit, but simplified, as in, some of the parts already molded on, rather than what we were talking about with the Royfield kits, the little fiddly bits? Because some of the Tacom kits can be like that. I built a few Tacoms. I actually kind of like them. I did like the Tacom, and same with. I keep looking back there because I used to have they kind of give a lovely color call out sheet, and I used to have them there behind. Then they kind of get a bit tacky, so I took them off. But is it a special hobby? Oh, Hobby Boss. Yeah, they're another. I think it's the same company, isn't it? Can you say hi to me? Lutschim Irin 3. Hi, and you can be guaranteed I got your name now. He wants to be a dictator. Like I said, I stay out of politics, and American politics, I mean, it's the other side of the world to me. So politicians, no matter where you go. In Ireland, we have a bunch of fucking buffoons. We've 3 parties came together to make a coalition purely to keep one party out, and because the one party got more votes than anybody else, but didn't have enough to make a government. So 3 parties formed a coalition, and they're a fucking joke. But these things about coalitions, no, bloody joke. But no matter where you go, politicians are corrupt. Every last one of them. Like I said, stay out of politics, John. Brian Daniels, you liberal fight. What? Lads, no, come on. No. Stay away from the politics. Stay away from the politics. Uncle No Identity. I love that name. That is brilliant. I saw an Andy Hobby Headquarters video, and he mentioned how the Academy tracks were tight. Has Academy models fixed the track tension? Well, I'll tell you. If you watched my video on the Abrams, the only thing, now there were tracks, the building of the tracks was absolutely beautiful, and there were 6 pieces for each link, and it was supposed to be 78 links per side. And when I did it, the 78 links per side, it was the right number of links, as in how it fitted, but it was just a little bit too tight, and it was breaking the things. So I actually had to add a link to it to make it 79 links per side, and that gave it a sag. But with the side skirts on it, it hid it. But that was definitely a problem with the the only problem I did have was with the tracks. David Kremlis, I'm not keen on Zvezda, has only done 1.5 track, and there were something like 75 bits for the track on each side, and they were tiny. Not finished it yet, probably never will. Well, don't buy a kit with individual track links then. Like I said, that Academy one. Now, the great thing about that Academy one, it came with rubber tracks as well. It gave you the option, whether you wanted to go build your individual links, and it gave you the rubber ones. And like I said, there was 78 links per side. Well, going by the instructions, 78 links per side and 6 pieces for each link. So I thought I'd never finish them. Peter says there about ScaleMates. Yes, I use ScaleMates quite a lot. You can get the full sort of history on every kit that's there. Whether they're reboxing, rebrandings, all that kind of thing. Very, very handy site. Very, very handy site. And also, if you think of buying a kit or whatever, go onto the ScaleMates site, and from the ScaleMates, then you can they'll give you, if anybody's done an unboxing of it, then you can kind of click on the unboxing and see, what parts are, because I want to do a Dragon Tiger, okay, but I've heard good things and bad things, and it's literally a case of you've got to buy the right Dragon kit, because some of them are actually pretty bad. No, I don't know whether that's true or not, but I have watched Adam Mann. He did a video, Tigers for Dummies, and he's gone through a list of numbers and things like that. And I must watch it again, the video again, but I must watch it with a notepad and pencil, and take down which ones he said are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones. So, but the only thing is, like everything else, some of the Dragon kits, they're fucking crazy money. Super is from Poland, Brian. All right, yeah, and they'd probably, it's probably cheap enough to ship to Ireland from there anyway. Like I said, it's there we go, Brian. Yeah, literally just underneath what I just said. Super Hobby is reasonable shipping for Ireland, so good. I'll give them. I must check them out actually, because I'm always willing to sort of see what else is out there. Tell there, sorry about the mistake for the spelling. Yes, it is not Super Hobby, it's Super Hobby. Phoebus B, me friends, hello all. Hello Phoebus, bonjour. Je parle un petit français, and as I said earlier on, that's my limit. That's about as much French as I know. Why I even learned to learn that much, I do not know. I've treated myself to a Taku Merkava 2 recently. Nice kit. I'd say it is, yeah. I kind of like the Merkava, but I don't want to go into it's going to kind of come back into the politics thing again, but I don't want to build Israeli armor. Phoebus B, yes, good. Sausage Fingers evening, John. Took your advice on the surgical spirits. Works great. Saved me a fortune. Doesn't it just? Yeah, it's basically the same as what we're talking about. Basically, if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, is this stuff here. Okay, right. Surgical Spirit BP. Okay, as you can see, this is Boots brand one. That bottle of Surgical Spirit over here in Ireland, and we pay a little bit more in Ireland than you pay in England for it. But that bottle of it cost me a £5 in Ireland for 500 mils, half a litre, and it is the best airbrush cleaner that you can get. Okay, it does not damage your airbrush in any way, shape, or form. I've been using it for about 2 years now on the same airbrush, and it hasn't affected the rubbers inside the the seals in any way, shape, or form. And when you go sort of compare that to, say, a little bottle that size costing you £7 sterling, no brainer. Go and buy your Surgical Spirit. Use it neat. Don't mix it with anything. Use it neat. Works perfect. Absolutely brilliant. And it's also good for cleaning your hairy sticks as well. Just pour a little bit into a little cup and clean the old hairy sticks with it. And it's good for cleaning down the mat. If you get any paint drips on your mat, great stuff. The wheel tank is 76 on one side and 77 on the other. Oh. That's the. I presume that you're talking about the Abrams. It would be, yeah, because of the sort of the torsion bar suspension. One is actually slightly ahead than the other, so one side would actually be slight little bit smaller, shorter on one side than it would be on the other. Yeah, slightly shorter on one side than the other, down to the torsion bar. Del there, great stream, John. Ihawa, Shlanta. Ihawa, that means good night. Okay, for anybody that doesn't speak Irish, Gaelic Irish. Ihawa. Ihawa, agus a colasáv. Night night and sleep well. Anyway, lads, I'm off. Okay, I've done the bones of an hour. Brian Daniels, I was a tanker. Fair play to you. I was an infantry foot slugger. We were sort of running around behind tanks, except the Irish Army doesn't have tanks. A couple of Scorpions, all right, when you wouldn't really call them tanks. Even though the chaps that have the tanks, they call them the tank squadron. First, you got to get a tank to call it a tank squadron. You know, Irish Army. We're only a small little army, and technically, we're not even an army. We're a defence force. Okay, I mean, when you consider the population of Ireland is, I think it's about 5 million people in total. So you don't need a big army. Who's going to invade us? We're not going to invade anybody else. So we only need a small army. Okay, and our navy is just there as a sort of a fishery protection, and our air corps are same thing. They do maritime patrols and that kind of thing. So that's the defence forces in Ireland. But the army, we do serve in overseas with United Nations, and we also served in Kosovo, which was a NATO mission. And we do the ECMM missions as well. We've had lads in Chad and Sierra Leone and places like that. So, you know, we when it comes to sort of an army, we're well up there with, say, as much as any of the rest of them, equipment-wise and everything else. Like we use sort of state-of-the-art modern equipment. The rifle, or sort of a personal weapon, is a Steyr AUG, which is an absolute beautiful weapon to fire. Absolutely beautiful weapon to fire. The bullpup design, you're holding like that, and your magazine is back here. But beautiful gun. I'm rambling now. I did say goodnight earlier on. So I'll catch you all next week, lads. Hopefully we'll have one. I'm sorry I didn't have one last week. I had some family issues to take care of. But I will be back next week, and don't forget to stay tuned to the channel, because I will have more updates on the Stug, and I'll show you more on the figures on the live streams. Okay, so until next week, lads, take care, bye, and like I always say, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it, and enjoy it. But that's what it's all about, lads. It's all about enjoying it, okay? And I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it, you know? So until then, lads, take care, bye, and be nice. Be nice to one another. And stay safe.